We're in Zürich tonight at the Migros Museum. I'm with Heike Munder. Heike Munder is director and curator of the Migros Museum in Zürich. And we're here today because here is the first solo exhibition of Josephine Meckseper from Germany. Heike, where did you discover Josephine Meckseper?
The first time I had her on display in 2003, I was doing research for a glamour exhibition. And I found her very outstanding, and because she was on a very good quality base, figuring out or discussing glamour issues together with politics, which is not very usual to bring these two parts together, because normally they're contraries. Well, you see, she's born in '64 in north of Germany. She's coming from a quite political driven area or family, and she always felt associated with it, and I think she really loves it.
She studied in Berlin and then she went to America, and she's living there for quite a long time.
She also studied at CalArts in LA before she moved to New York, and she's living there now since 20 years. And all her work is quite based on a European reception on America, and I think that's a part which is interesting on the political view on her work. I mean, it's really with the distance, the critical distance of a European view.
But subjects are often things like statements against the Iraq war and stuff like that. So her political criticism is probably more based in America.
It's more based on America, but on the other hand, I mean, we live in such a globalized society, and the problem she's issuing is the problems of oil resources, Iraq war. No one can step out of it. I mean, we're all kind of involved. I mean, it's a worldwide issue, and the car industry at the moment is another issue, very well pointed out in this exhibition. I mean, there are three standpoints coming together here. You should look at 0% Down. I think it's the key work of this whole exhibition, which brings in the combination of oil resources, or the need for oil resources, the war in Iraq, Iran, and also advertisement strategies for cars, which is very war-driven, and it's a language which is completely unknown to Europe. If you have car advertisement in Europe, it's about family business, if you have enough space, or it's luxury driven, if you have a sexy partner in a sexy car. But in the US, it's like a car gives you power, a car gives you more than power. I mean, you can become a leader of the world, it becomes a jet, it becomes an airplane, it's something completely different.
In this exhibition, Josephine Meckseper shows a lot of different pieces, like installations and films and stuff on the walls. Is that typical, or is it more review of her last 10 years of work?
No, not at all. All the works which are shown are produced in the last 1.5 years. And her, alphabet is always very wide, and it's she's really more content-based and driven than it's on the aesthetics. So she uses every way of production, if it's a painting, if it's a wall drawing, or if it's an installation like here. For her, it's really more an alphabet. The black and white walls are for her a clear statement. I mean, the US has this very black and white view on political issues, and it's clear who's your enemy and who's not. And it's more like a little reference, it's like a little pun, it's like a little joke on that. But also her work plays a lot with this black and white counterparts or images. It's like if you ever read Noam Chomsky, then you know about it. The works which are displayed here in the exhibition are definitely still are based on the Bush area or Bush era.
Let's talk a little bit about this installation behind us. Josephine Meckseper has done a lot of things in vitrines, where you show pieces, where you can show your marketing strategies. So this piece here, can you explain it a little bit for us?
It's called 10 High. If you look at the whiskey bottle, it's a very cheap whiskey. Then you find the title. it's a piece which is also already starting with it was done in last autumn, and it starts with the recession, going out of business, sale. You see all the references, and one of the key references she's using in several works at the moment is the cult for the veterans. And if you read at the T-shirt, if you love your freedom, thank a veteran. It's one of the really key pieces, or like key alphabet, if you can name it like that. Because like the veterans in the US, I mean, are highly, especially in the election campaigns, are always like praised. But if you look at the reality of their lives, it's quite sad. I mean, they lost their arms, their legs, whatever. I mean, they didn't die, but they lost their health. And mostly they are not very wealthy at all. They have big alcohol problems and other problems. She's working a lot with messages, but she doesn't give you really any hints. I mean, she doesn't say she's left-wing.
So that should be the audience to make these hints?
It's more like to give the audience a possibility to make up their own opinion. Especially, I mean, if you look at the newspapers in the US and other things, I mean, you can't really talk about that they're free. It's a lot about censorship. And so she's more like pointing out everything which is not very well discussed in public, and which is perhaps more like the fears of America.